Okay, picture this. It's late, house is totally silent. You're just listening to that quiet hum from the baby monitor. And then you hear it. Something else. Not the baby. A whisper. A voice that shouldn't be there. It's kind of a creepy thought, right? And that brings us straight into our deep dive today. The whole baby monitor portals theory. We're going to be looking at this really weird mix of everyday tech, paranormal stories, and even some quantum physics ideas, because this isn't just about static or picking up your neighbor's phone call. It's this wild idea that these monitors might be, well, accidental doorways, picking up way more than just baby sounds, maybe songs from other dimensions.
Exactly. And look, this isn't brand new. For years, parents have been sharing these odd experiences, kind of quietly, Things like hearing strange whispers, actual disembodied voices, sometimes even seeing shadowy shapes on the video feed.
Yeah.
It's persistent. So the real question we're digging into is, is it just bad wiring, interference, or an overactive imagination late at night? Or could these things, these monitors in basically every nursery, be accidentally tuning into, well, something else entirely, maybe even a parallel reality?
That's precisely it. So our mission today is to unpack where this theory even came from. We'll look at the actual stories people tell, the encounters parents have reported. Then we'll touch on some, frankly, pretty complex science ideas people use to explain it, quantum stuff. And also look at the bigger picture of paranormal things linked to babies and what it all might mean for, reality itself. It's a really bizarre modern puzzle. So, okay, where did this idea even start? Because it definitely wasn't cooked up in a university lab, right?
Oh, definitely not. No, this whole thing really bubbled up organically, you could say, online. Think parenting forums, Reddit threads, especially late 2000s, just as video monitors became super common.
Right, when everyone started getting cameras. And what's really striking, you mentioned the persistence, is how similar these stories are. Like dozens of parents reporting almost the same things. Things like hearing full adult conversations when they know no one else is home. That's weird.
It's super weird. Or seeing, like you said, distorted faces.
No.
Or just shadowy shapes moving near the crib.
Yeah, and the baby's reacting. Sometimes they're scared. Other times parents say they're laughing at something unseen.
And the static thing, too.
Yeah.
Static that seems to, morph into whispers, sometimes even saying the baby's name. That's specific.
That's chilling.
There's one case, gets cited a lot, a mother in Ohio. She said her baby would just stand in the crib night after night staring at this one corner.
Okay. Creepy already.
Right. Then one night, the monitor supposedly picks up this really raspy voice, clear as anything, saying, "Come here, little one."
Oh, wow. Okay, that definitely takes it up a notch from just static.
It does. And while, skeptics will point to things like auditory pareidolia hearing patterns and noise or tech glitches, for others, incidents like that Ohio one felt like proof. Something real was coming through.
So that's where the leap happens, from weird interference to portals?
Pretty much. The skeptics were saying, look, it's probably just bad signal encryption, maybe picking up a neighbor's monitor, wireless interference, stuff like that. But this other group, the sort of truth seekers, they weren't buying it. They felt it was too consistent, too strange, and their idea became, okay, these monitors aren't just receiving signals, they're somehow acting as accidental two-way portals.
Two-way portals, wow, okay.
Either picking up signals from other dimensions or maybe even transmitting into them.
Okay, portals sounds very science fiction. I mean, how do people even try to connect that to actual science? It seems like a massive leap.
It does, absolutely. But the main connection people try to make is often through quantum physics. Specifically, interpretations like the many worlds interpretation.
Right, I've heard of that. The idea that every possibility creates its own universe.
Exactly. Every quantum choice, every possible outcome splits off into its own parallel reality. Millions, billions of them. And the theory, or speculation really, is that maybe, just maybe, under very specific electromagnetic conditions, these worlds could briefly intersect or bleed through.
Allowing glimpses or sounds.
Potentially. Just brief moments of contact, and then they connect that to the monitors themselves, especially the older analog ones. They operate on radio frequencies, right?
Okay.
And interestingly, those same kinds of radio frequencies have long been linked to other alleged paranormal stuff, like EVP, electronic voice phenomena.
Oh, right. Capturing voices on recordings that shouldn't be there.
Precisely. So the question they ask is, could these specific frequencies used by baby monitors be acting as some kind of bridge, an accidental one?
And I guess the monitors are always on, aren't they? Always scanning, always transmitting something, even if it's just quiet hiss.
That's a key part of the idea. They're like these constant open channels. which makes them super sensitive to any background energy, any electromagnetic fluctuations. And if you talk to paranormal investigators, they often believe that's the environment where spirits or maybe, interdimensional things might operate in those energy fields.
So the monitor becomes like a magnet for it, or a receiver?
Or maybe even an amplifier. There's another layer to this theory, even more sort of out there.
Go on.
It focuses on the baby. The idea is that infants, because they're so new, haven't fully tuned into our reality yet. They might still have a foot in the door, so to speak, a partial connection to other states of consciousness, other realms.
Okay.
And in this view, the monitor isn't just showing the room, it's amplifying the baby's perception. It's showing us what the baby might be sensing across different planes, a window into their awareness.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot to take in. But then there's the conspiracy angle too, right? It's not just accidental weirdness for some people.
Right. Some theorists take it further. They believe this isn't just happening randomly. They think that certain groups, maybe government agencies, maybe the tech companies themselves, actually know about these interdimensional leaks.
And they're covering it up. Why?
Well, the why varies. Panic, control, maybe they're studying it, who knows?
All right.
But they point to what they call evidence.
Like what kind of evidence are we talking about?
Okay, one example often brought up is this supposedly leaked internal memo from a baby monitor company dated around 2012. The memo apparently mentions unusual signal reflections and visual artifacts popping up during remote lab tests.
Okay. But couldn't that just be technical glitches? Interference in the lab?
Absolutely. From a standard viewpoint, yes. Signal reflections, artifacts, it's common engineering, talk for problems, faulty wires, environmental noise, component issues, mundane stuff.
But the theorists see something else.
They interpret it as the company finding something, not from Earth, something visual coming through the monitors and then suppressing it, hushing it up as just technical issues.
Okay, what else?
Patents. People dig through patents filed by the big baby tech companies. And they find language in some of them talking about things like multi-frequency interference detection or spectral interference analysis.
Which sounds technical.
It does, but theorists point out that kind of language is more common in, say, military radar systems. Not usually for a baby monitor just listening for cries. They see it as hinting at tech designed to detect something more complex than just Wi-Fi noise.
So overkill tech suggests a hidden purpose.
That's the interpretation, yeah. And tied to that is the belief that some firmware updates pushed out to monitors silently might include code designed to, well, patch the leaks, to close down these portals without users ever knowing why their monitor needed an update.
Wow. And what about these blackouts people report after a weird event?
Yeah, that's another layer. Reports of monitors suddenly dying, sure, but also people claiming they experienced missing time or sudden unexplained illnesses right after, even memory loss about the specific night things happened.
So is that just the stress of a weird event, or are they suggesting some kind of active censorship, like reality itself being edited?
That's the extreme end of the theory, yes. That these aren't just glitches, but maybe signs of something actively intervening to erase the evidence or the memory. It's a pretty wild idea.
It really is. Let's shift focus slightly back to the babies themselves. You mentioned earlier they might be key.
Yes, many versions of this theory put the infant right at the center. It draws on some older occult or spiritual ideas, actually.
Yeah.
Belief systems that suggest babies are born naturally psychic, or at least highly sensitive to non-physical realms.
Like their minds aren't fully locked into our reality yet.
Exactly. Their senses haven't been sort of dulled or filtered by our consensus reality. Some traditions say their consciousness is still partly anchored in what they call the astral realm.
Which is like a non-physical plane.
Sort of. A realm of thought, consciousness, maybe entities, existing alongside our physical world. So the idea is babies perceive this realm more easily.
And the monitor picks up on their perception, not just the room.
That's the concept. It's like the baby's the antenna and the monitor's the radio, broadcasting what the antenna picks up.
Which could explain why paranormal investigators often say activity seems stronger around young kids.
Precisely. You hear reports more often in homes with infants or toddlers, unexplained noises, toys moving, lights acting up. It leads to the idea that maybe the infant is the gateway, the source of the connection.
And the monitor just makes it visible or audible to us.
It acts as the amplifier, yeah. There's even some fringe research, very speculative, suggesting that the bioenergetic field around a baby, their aura, if you like, might act like a kind of quantum beacon.
A beacon? Attracting what?
Attention from whatever might exist beyond our normal perception. beings, entities. Maybe they're just curious about this bright, new energy signature entering the world. Not necessarily hostile, just drawn to it.
That's a slightly less terrifying angle, maybe? Curiosity.
Perhaps. But then you swing back to the more conspiratorial side.
Which is?
The really extreme theory that this isn't accidental at all. That some monitors were intentionally designed using hidden knowledge precisely to tap into this.
To harvest it. Or just watch it.
Either. To observe or somehow utilize this interdimensional feedback loop involving the infant. Suggesting a deliberate, hidden agenda behind a seemingly innocent device.
Okay, that is genuinely disturbing. So, if we entertain this, even for a moment, if monitors are portals, accidental or not, what does that mean? Who's on the other side?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, what are we talking about? Ghosts, as we traditionally think of them. Aliens, demons, like in religious texts. Or maybe just entirely different kinds of life forms we have no category for.
Yeah.
And are they even aware of us? Or are we just picking up, like, random noise, residual data leaking from another timeline, like cosmic static?
But if they are aware, the implication is pretty unsettling, isn't it? Are kids being watched? Or worse, maybe influenced, recruited even, by something we can't understand?
It's a deeply disturbing thought, yeah. Especially for any parent.
And it makes you think bigger, too. If baby monitors can do this, what about all the other tech?
Exactly. If it's about frequencies or ambient energy or quantum effects, then what about your smartphone, your smart TV, Alexa, Google Home devices that are designed to listen constantly?
Could we be, like, surrounded by this stuff, this bleed through between dimensions, and we just don't notice it most of the time?
Is the veil thinning, as some people say? That's the broader implication. Are these monitors just one obvious example of something happening everywhere?
You hear some spiritual teachers talking about a convergence, that dimensions are naturally starting to merge or overlap more now.
Right. And in that framework, the baby monitor thing is seen as almost benign, a little preview of a much bigger shift in reality that's coming.
Still creepy, though.
Oh, absolutely. And then there's the final chilling thought about the children. Some versions of the theory warn that babies who have these kinds of interactions, who are exposed to these entities or signals early on, they might grow up changed.
Changed how?
With altered minds, maybe different abilities, perhaps destined for some specific role in whatever future reality emerges from this convergence, shaped by forces we don't see.
Okay. So, wrapping this up, we're kind of left hanging, aren't we? Between two stark possibilities. Is it just glitchy tech, faulty devices, maybe some weird radio interference, coupled with parents' anxiety and maybe imagination working overtime in the middle of the night? Perfectly rational explanations. Or are these monitors, these everyday objects, really acting as accidental windows? Unintended mirrors showing glimpses of hidden worlds, just beyond what we normally perceive.
It's a tough one. Because whatever the actual explanation turns out to be, you can't deny that something strange is being reported consistently.
Yeah.
And it's happening in what should be the safest, most innocent place imaginable, the baby's nursery.
Yeah. And maybe that's the final thought to leave people with, that unsettling possibility. Tonight, if you turn on a baby monitor, you might just have to wonder, are you really the only one watching?